Hi, friends. This is James and Kara, and we are Kerouacs Cruising.
We are taking you on a journey, traveling the country with our dogs and finding remote places where the dog
And us
can roam free and play while we discuss life's growths, beauty, and some struggles along the way.
We recommend pairing our episodes with our blog at kerouacscruising.com, where we organize accurate information in an easy-to-follow format, removing all of the conversational goodies.
The link for this episode's blog post is in the show notes.
We encourage you to join the conversation by commenting where you listen, engaging with us on Facebook or Instagram at Kerouacs Cruising, or email us at join@kerouacscruising.com.
In the meantime, thanks for tuning in. Sit back and enjoy the journey.
Good morning, friends.
Hi, thank you for joining Kerouacs Cruising. This is James and Kara. And today, our episode is at home, and we're
from our sun porch, our beautiful sun porch James built for us.
So, and this it's beautiful right now. It's cold outside, so we were hoping to do this episode outside, but it's a little too windy and just a little too cold. So we're in here, and it's getting warm out. It's 40 outside, and it's 70 in here. So pretty cool. But our podcast today is about another book that we've read. And we've shared a couple of the books that we've read and talked about some other books that we haven't even shared yet. But this is another one that we wanted to share, and it's kind of what we're doing right now, or at least what I'm doing right now. And this is a book. It's called Own the Day, Own Your Life by Aubrey Marcus. And it's a cool book. You know, it's a lot about a lot of stuff, but mostly what it's about is kind of like what Jim Quick even says, and a lot of books that you read that you just keep reading, you keep getting these tidbits out of them. Well, the tidbit is, and Limitless is turning things into simple, small things, and Aubrey Marcus that's what he's doing, turning it simple, turning life simple, and just focusing on day-to-day activities and making sure you're having a joyous life doing those things, and then implement that going forward through your life. That's almost everything in that book was telling me that. And, you know, we've been home now for at least a month and a half, and that's what I've been doing. I've been focusing, working out, trying to get a morning routine, a good exercise, good nutrition. So, you know, trying to meditate. What else have we been doing?
There's a lot of things that not only that we adopted from this. So ultimately, this book is about optimizing your life. So if you want to make life changes, but you're not really sure where to start, I really, 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 I wish we'd have read this book 5 to 10 years ago, because I feel like the journey that we've been on for the last 8 since we moved off grid, as far as getting our health in line and then changing our mindset and getting our minds in the right place, and, you know, developing this ambition and trying to create from scratch these routines that we've developed over the years through piles of research. I mean, I've spent countless hours researching optimal habits, what's the best health for certain situations, and talking to friends and talking to people that I come across who are like-minded. So I wish we'd have come across this years ago. So if you are thinking about or wanting to, and you just don't know where to start, it's just overwhelming, this is a really great place to start. A lot of the stuff that he talks about in this book, we were already doing. For the first little bit of the book, we were both like, wow, nailed it.
It's refreshing. It was like refreshing.
It is. It was like a pat on the back. Like, we got it good. Yeah.
It was still good to read.
Absolutely.
But we had already gotten through a lot of the beginning stages of the book. Yeah,
so this definitely, if you're just starting your journey or you don't know where to start, you're just thinking about your journey even, this is a really great book. Now, one of the things that he does talk about a little bit in the beginning of it, and then I think he knocks off of it for the rest of the book, is about how other programs or other self-help books or other self-help programs, you know, they don't help you integrate necessarily what you're learning. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think there's a such thing as a bad self-help book, one that makes you kind of look at yourself and reevaluate your life or what you're doing with your life. It's just like rereading something over and over and over and over again. You may not, the first time you read a self-help book, or anything, you know, a self-improvement book. I mean, it's a weird genre to talk about, but you're not going to retain everything the first time, and not everything in there. Even if you love every single idea that the author puts out there, you're not going to be able to implement every single piece of advice that they give you. So the more you read and the more that stuff starts to get ingrained in you, the more it starts to change your behaviors and the more it starts to change how you think. A belief is a thought that you just keep thinking. So if you keep reading things that are different from the way that you think and maybe more towards the way that you'd like to think, and you're having a hard time getting to where you want to be, reading books like this, that especially because this is all science.
Do you love the idea of dispersed camping or remote travel, but you don't know where to start?
Or maybe you got the wanderlust, but you don't have the time to plan that perfect route. That's where we come in. We spent years exploring the back roads, dispersed camping, finding the most unique spot. And now we're going to offer you that knowledge.
With our remote travel services, we create custom itineraries for you based on your adventure level, your rig, and your personal preferences. So whether you're looking for epic boondocking spots, scenic drives, or hidden gems, we can create an itinerary customized for you. We take the guesswork out of trip planning so you can spend less time researching and more time enjoying the journey.
And the best part is it's affordable, flexible, and completely customized to your needs.
Are you ready to hit the road with confidence? Click the link in the show notes or go to coffee.com/Kerouacs Cruising to get started today.
Let's get you on the road to your next adventure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everything he discusses, he's showing you the scientific studies behind it, the whys behind it, all of the core to help you like ingrain it, like understand
why,
it
right?
Logically. Yeah, the why.
He's
exactly.
giving you the whys behind it.
Exactly. So reading books like this, I feel like, yeah, the first time it may not nail it all in for you, but as he talks about in his book, it's one step at a time. It's one day at a time. It's really one moment at a time is really what it comes down to, from one moment to the next. Instead of thinking about what you're going to do 5 hours from now, just think about what you're going to do 5 minutes from now, or what you're going to do in this moment. I do think there's benefits of, reflecting on beautiful moments of the past and dreaming about the future, but too many of us spend too much time in those two areas and not enough time in the present moment. And that's what his book really focuses on, is developing, based on the science he gives you, your own routine, but for living moment to moment and optimizing each moment to its maximum, to its fullest, so that the next moment can be even better. So it's I really like his approach in the book, in the overall setup of it all.
Well, he has a lot of things, at least that I get out of it, because I'll go months and months and I get a routine going and I'm doing really well. And then I don't do it for 2 or 3 days and I beat myself up. And he just talks about, it's really not about, you're going to have the bad days, right? Everybody's going to have them one-offs. So it's picking the sticks back up and saying, all right, that was just that day. Okay, well, remember, you're in the moment, and now it's just that very next day, you're starting scratch again to build back up again, even though that one day. A lot of us, after we have that one day, that multiplies to 10 days, and then you're right out of your routine, and then you're done, and then a month, 2 months go by, and you're feeling like shit, and you're like, oh man, I wish I was back at that other routine.
Yeah.
So it's about progression, and it's about forgiving yourself when you do make those mistakes. And then, so there's it's a book that he talks about, and Kara's gonna be like, wow, you're getting way off subject, but it popped in my mind. It's a book that talks about sex. Most books don't talk about that as far as business, with health, and eating dinner right, but he talks about
smoking pot, drinking alcohol. He talks about doing
well, I'm just but what foods you should eat before sex. That's gonna interact. So that's like, it tells you what to eat for dessert. So just weird stuff, like, it's not weird, but everyday things
it's unique.
It's part of the workout, or part of the win the day. You win your life. Well, if you keep doing those things, that's joyful. When he's talking about what his daily routine is, that sounds joyful.
Yeah. I think that one of the very unique things about this self-improvement book is that you can hear that, you might be able to hear the dogs wrestling, is that he talks about all the taboo stuff that most self-improvement or self-help books are going to tell you not to do, like drinking alcohol, smoking pot, psychedelics, tobacco he even talks about. And what he talks about
and
is,
I think he's talking about like more
not to do
you're
it.
not doing
He's just
that every
saying
freaking day.
to do it in moderation. But
Anything.
it comes off of the point that you were making is, if you have a drink at night to take the edge off the day,
Whatever it is,
and
you're
feel
just
like
out with some people.
I won my day, I'm home, I'm free, I'm gonna have a glass of wine or a beer to relax. You didn't fail at life. You didn't ruin your day. Like, that's part of getting in the vibe of what it is now to be home and be who you are when you get home. And one of the things I really enjoy that he talks about, and I just don't think that we as Americans do it enough, is how we need to integrate more play in our life. We need to do more things that fill us, that really make us happy. I think the chasing ravens now. So things like, I started coloring. I used to love coloring as a kid. I grabbed a coloring book and some colored pencils.
I built a jungle gym in the backyard.
Yeah, you built a jungle gym.
Because that chapter was
motivating. What the hell are we
motivating.
there for? Like, we're supposed to play. We're supposed to love life. We're supposed to love
Built
why
a
we
jungle
get
gym
up
in the
every
backyard
day.
and I play on it.
And I feel like
Little climbing wall, just stupid stuff, a rope I climb.
Absolutely. And when I see James with kids, for example, it makes me think of when you have kids, it really gives you a great opportunity to play more, right? Because they want you to play with them. And so they pull you down to their level and they make your little child come out and go play with them. And I think that's a beautiful thing that I've lost in my life. I never had any kids. And so it's something that I've forgotten to do. I feel like after you get to that age, when I finally put the Barbie dolls down, that was it. I was done playing anymore. For a while, it was going out to the club and drinking way too much and dancing, but it just has slipped away. Everything just became business. And so now we've got like game nights that we regularly have with friends. We've been doing online games with some friends, coloring.
Yeah.
Like, we've just been really, that's one of the awesome things that we
do
got
things
out
that
of
make
this
you
book.
happy.
Mhm.
Do things that make you happy and
Yeah.
repeat it, and you're going to be happy over and over
absolutely.
again. And everybody builds their own routine.
Yeah.
He's not telling you got to build his routine.
Yeah, this is just
This
his
is
kind of.
he gives you kinds of
an
molds,
outline, yeah.
and you're pulling the pieces, and that's what you're doing out of many, self-help books. But the most important part is picking up the first book and
starting to read it. Absolutely.
and really figure out what is a joyful, meaningful life.
Yeah, for you, because
For
it's
you.
different for every
different.
single person. And a lot of the things that he talks about in this book, it may not resonate with you, and that's okay. But it gives you some place to start, and it gives you something to think about and to chew on while you're designing your life. Because I feel like we all just get lost in the rat race, just trying to get to the next day, trying to get to the next paycheck, trying to get to the next whatever it is we're trying to accomplish. Maybe you're trying to replace your car, maybe you're trying to buy a house, maybe whatever it is for you, get your kids through school, whatever. I feel like we're always just so focused on getting to that next spot, and we forget about that day to day and how today actually does affect tomorrow. So things like making sure you're getting plenty of sunshine, you are moving around, getting some exercise, you having some fun time in the evenings so that you sleep good at night, and then the next day you are that much more prepared to own your next day. And each day does build off of one another, and I think
the
that's
circadian
one of the core.
rhythm, even that part of the book was super good. We've been trying to implement that. We're going to bed super early.
Mm-hmm.
The sun's going down. We watch sunset and all, but hour after sunset, we're pretty much snuggling in, maybe reading or playing
Catan.
That's the reality of it.
That's the reality.
And then if we open just our curtain, the sun comes right into our bed, so we can get up with the sun, and it's nice to just stretch in bed while the sun's coming up.
With the circadian rhythm, it is, and we are finding, it's coming into spring. The mornings are starting to get earlier, so now we're starting to wake up earlier naturally. We are in a beautiful position where we've been able to really wake with the sun and go to bed with sunset pretty close. And
coming out of winter.
And so now the days are getting longer, and we're finding we have more energy for the longer days. And it's amazing when you tune yourself into the natural biorhythms that are ingrained in us biologically, how much better you feel and how your body actually ebbs and flows with it. So you go through the winter period of rest, and now we're coming into spring and everything's getting more active and everything's growing and gaining more energy. But with that is, and he talks about in the book too, rest and digest. Your body, when the sun is up, naturally wants to process its food. That's what it's doing.
It's working.
But then after, it's working, burning energy, all that. And then after the sun goes down, all of that starts to slow down so that you're ready to go to bed. You don't want to be burning energy when you're getting ready to go to bed. So spending time outside without sunglasses and actually getting and absorbing some sunlight, even if it's only 10 minutes a day, you just get out there first thing in the morning before you go to work. You'll get some sun on your face, or sometime throughout the day, so that your body can get attuned to that system. And you try to only eat while the sun's up, because that's when your body's able to process the food, and that's when you're going to get the most energy out of it. If you eat when the sun's down, unfortunately, most of what you eat, especially if you're not eating whole foods, it gets stored as fat. And so just little hacks like that like there's no handbook on being a human being. So it's like little things like that were so natural to our ancestors, just because of the way things were. They didn't have electricity and computers and all of this artificial light that we didn't realize was so necessary to our well-being. And once you find yourself getting into these natural rhythms, it's amazing how much better you feel, how much more energy you have, and really how much more in tune with the flow of life things really start to become.
So overall, I think what we're saying is this is a really good book to read.
Yeah.
And even if you just follow Aubrey, he's really just a pretty cool person to follow. Yeah. And he backs what he says. Yeah. He researches it, and he does the work to find the right information, and he doesn't put out, garbage, I don't think
so. No, he's a very forward thinker, very open-minded person. He, like you said, does a ton of research, smart dude. So the Aubrey Marcus podcast, we follow it. We don't listen and watch every episode, but he definitely is an interesting guy, and I think is mind-opening, really. Some of the stuff that he talks about, some of it's taboo, some of it's controversial.
Well, I mean, he's knocking on, a lot of
new age stuff. And
it's not even new age, really. All the stuff that's coming out really happened forever ago.
Traditionally, yes.
Friggin',
he loves the traditional
practices. Go down to Buddhism and stuff.
Before that, even, absolutely.
Before that,
absolutely.
And you're talking, believing in the universe and all that. So it's he's cool to follow.
Yeah.
And his book was good. I really enjoyed it. I really, in my life, try to get systems in place, doing the routines to stay healthy, to be able to go enjoy the outdoors, to use the outdoors as your
playground,
stress reliever.
Yes.
And to build.
Yep.
And I think he even talks about that, using nature.
Yep. So overall, this book has our Kerouacs Cruising stamp of approval. This is the fourth book special we've done, I think. We did Limitless with Jim Quick, and then we did
E Squared,
Stress Less, Accomplish More by Emily Fletcher, and then E Squared by Pam Grau, and
I think even Aubrey might even had some related. Did he talk about that Ziva meditation?
I learned about Aubrey's book through Emily Fletcher's podcast.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So they're in the same circles.
Right too, yeah.
His wife and Emily, I think, are friends.
Something.
They're in the same circles. Yeah.
But all them books are cool. We even got some more that we've been reading. I'm reading a book right now that's incredible. So
yeah.
All right,
We
till
love
next
you guys.
time.
If you have any questions,
The next,
you
we're
want
going to
feedback?
Yosemite soon, I think. I can
yeah,
really
it's
feel
gotta
it.
happen. But if you guys have any questions, any feedback, please comment, like, subscribe, share, all of that jazz. But you can always email us at kerouacscruising.com. We love you guys. Thank you for listening.
See you later, bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Kerouacs Cruising.
We're thrilled to have you with us.
We had a blast recording this episode and hope you enjoyed our adventures as much as we enjoyed sharing them.
For more amazing pictures and stories, visit our website and blog at kerouacscruising.com.
And join the conversation on Facebook at Kerouacs Cruising or email us at join@kerouacscruising.com.
We'd love to hear your thoughts and suggestions.
If you enjoyed this episode, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving us a review.
Your support helps us reach more listeners and allows us to continue sharing our travel experiences with you.
It's a generous favor that means the world to us.
Thank you so much for listening to Kerouacs Cruising.
Until next time, happy travels.